Hey there, everybody. I hope you are doing well as could be expected under these circumstances that we are undergoing these days, on so many fronts. First and foremost, our continued prayers and energy being directed towards those, especially the firefighters and those who have lost so much in LA and surrounding areas. Apparently the winds have picked up today. I'm taping this really early on Tuesday morning. Winds have picked up again, so the threats are still really, really high in that area, as many of you know. So I've been getting in my prayers and meditation from Spirit and the guides, like just really, I know we've got so many things pulling at our energy right now, you all, but every time we think about what's happening in California, Spirit is saying, just send energy to it. Send energy to it. Of course, donate if you can as well. I've made some donations. I'm sure many of you have as well. The nation has been extremely incredible, as often we come together when there are times of natural disasters. So natural or not so natural, I know there's some arguments to be made about that too, around what's really behind some of these fires. I think there may be a combination of both. What happened due to climate change. We know that the Edison, some electrical companies, lawsuits are already being filed. Blah blah. Is so much. In addition to that, we've got now these Senate confirmation hearings that are starting in D.C. We've got Pete Hegseth coming up later on this morning. I'm taping this early, about 7:30 in the morning Eastern time. So what I got, you all, I went to Spirit this morning and said, as I always do, what should I, where can I be most helpful? What should I look at in terms of doing a reading for you all? And I got to tell you what Spirit gave me after, sitting about 30 minutes, just sitting here with my incense and praying. They said, it's time for Blue America's political sanity check. Like, really, really Blue America's political sanity. That's what I kept hearing over and over again. It does feel like being really under siege. And I think more and more, some of you, I want to announce again, I'll put a link to it below, based on so much that we're facing now, for those of us who do want to protect democracy and believe in democracy. I have decided to I was led to start a monthly meetup group, Zoom, off of this public platform where you can get a lot of trolls, etc. So first Fridays of every month, I'm going to do a spiritual politics Zoom meeting, and it's just where we'll come together. I'll do some readings, and we can just have a supportive environment where people, especially if you're feeling isolated, if you're a blue dot in a red sea, you've got family, tensions around the political environment right now, just a place where we can come together, treat it sort of like a think tank and a supportive environment, not some place to just come and gripe and bitch and be afraid and all of that. That's the exact opposite of what Spirit is saying this group will be. So link to that down below in the description box. Would love to have you on board for that. The first one will be Friday. What's the first Friday in February? February 7th, right? Would love to have you aboard for that. So information for that below. All right, you all. So I will say, in terms of Pete Hegseth, what I'm getting, and I'm going to go to the cards as well, what I got in my spirit is, you know what? Even if he manages to squeak by, because we know that I'm back to calling him Mafia Don. I got the wand of Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. That's the movement around getting him confirmed. Hegseth, getting him confirmed. But what I'm getting from Spirit, let me confirm it before I even let it out. 9 of Cups. Okay, I can go ahead and say it. And then, 2 nines, 9 of Wands. Remember, we're in a 9 year as well. For some reason, they're telling me to mention that. 9 of Wands and the 9 of Cups. It's a lot to ask. It is a tall, tall ask. Even for those who want to bend the knee to Trump, who've been bending the knee to Trump, who have reservations, and they know good and damn well this man is not qualified to head the Pentagon. Like, no way, no how. Even outside of all of the, the drinking and the womanizing and the harassment claims and all of those things that that make him unfit for office, just his abilities, his skill set, his knowledge Not at all. Not at all what is required. But Spirit is saying that is why, should he get confirmed, he's not long for that role. He will not last in that role. Spirit, will Pete Hegseth get confirmed by the Senate? Will they confirm him? Page of Cups, interestingly, notice that image of him sipping from that bottle, right? That's going to be, I don't wish it on anybody, but what I'm sensing and getting is, and the world, he's not gonna stay in there. Even if he gets it 100%, he's not gonna stay. And I'll tell you why. Going back to this Page of Cups that we just got and that image there, if in fact it is true, and it seems to be a pretty prevalent situation with him about the drinking, right? Imagine going into a job like that and the incredible pressure and responsibilities that are suddenly going to be thrust upon him. If you have addictive tendencies and you've got issues with substances, what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? So again, I think that world card is saying, this will not last. Should he be confirmed King of Cups? There we go again with some more drinking. All right, at least that's how I'm seeing it. It's not gonna, despite his best efforts, and even if he has sworn before everything holy that he's gonna get his act together and straighten up and do what he needs to do to function, I think the pressures of it are gonna get to him. He will not last. All right. Having said that, Spirit said to give you a message today about the blue America and maintaining our political sanity, right? California. A lot of things can be said around both positive and negative around Karen Bass. And the lovers, she's going to need a lot of support. I think Gavin Newsom has been pretty savvy in terms of the way he's responded, given the historic, just unprecedented what is happening here. Some $250 billion so far estimated in the damages. But I think as it relates to Karen Bass, you all, with this lovers card, it's a need for unity. That she's going to need the support from Gavin Newsom. Ten of Pentacles. She recognizes that the weight of what's going to be needed to rebuild the city, and whether or not she has an adequate coalition to stick to her, to stick around her, to continue to unite with her, to have a united front in order to address the needs. Because there are already, from the far right, there are already calls, as many of you know, for her to step down. That I don't see happening, but I do see Ace of Wands. Yeah, there's going to be, as once all of this is done, once the fires are contained and it's in the repair mode, the rebuilding mode, she's going to come under intense scrutiny, criticism, etc. There may be even renewed and growing calls for her to step aside, but that's why she needs this support. Will Karen Bass stay in office? Will she remain mayor of California, of Los Angeles? Yes, Ace of Pentacles. So I think she's going to hold on. I'm not sure when her term ends. She probably is not going to do so well, when her term ends. But I think she's going to hold on for now. And I do think it's going to be because, by and large, for the time being, the energy at this time is that Gavin Newsom and others, other stakeholders within the area are going to coalesce and present a united front to try and get past this. And yeah, we've got the Emperor for sure. That's Gavin Newsom. Yeah. Yes. I also see, though, sometimes I do pull the Emperor with Donald Trump. This is because we know this is going to be a continued Eight of Cups. Moving on from, she's working really hard. Going back to Karen Bass, she's working really hard, you all, to tamp down her own emotional response to feeling attacked and to stay in her groove as mayor of the city. That's what's happening there. I also think, what Donald Trump is going to have so much coming at him on so many different fronts that this whole tit for tat thing going on with Gavin Newsom as governor, he's going to have to step back from that. He's going to get distracted from that. And that is going to give Gavin Newsom more leeway to do what he needs to do to execute his plans and continue to work. I also am getting a feeling he's got tremendous support from, we know that the blue state governors had already built their coalition or were in the process of building a really strong coalition post-election in November. So he's going to get a lot of support. And he's going to talk to a lot of people. I feel like this is Four of Swords. Yes, talking to a lot of people. And I even feel like this is a part of the international community, you all. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but Gavin Newsom has a plan. And he is developing a plan as we speak. 10 of Wands. He recognizes that he's going to need a lot of help. We're talking years, you all. This is not months. We're talking years. So we're definitely talking into 2026 and beyond. His plans for 2028, but also the midterms coming up in 2026. He's acutely aware of that. The governors, the blue state governors, are acutely aware of that. The Democratic Party as a whole is acutely aware of their next swing at bat. If something doesn't change drastically, sooner rather than later, is going to be 2026. So things are par for the course. I do see he's going to have tremendous support, and I don't know where this international piece is coming from, but I'm definitely getting a sense of that. Could be Canada. We know Canada and Mexico came in to try and help with the fires, so it could be that. It could be something else, but there's a lot of support coming in for Gavin Newsom in the face of all of the obstacles that the Mike Johnson already piping up saying, yeah, if you want federal aid, we're going to have some conditions placed on that. Excuse me. So all of that aside, there's going to be adequate support. Now, to the point at hand, and then we'll wrap it up. Spirit said we needed a message around Blue America's political sanity. So many things. It's just lightning quick, lightning fast that's coming. We have Temperance that just came at the bottom of the deck, you all. So this is a message from Spirit saying, recognizing that we're getting it from all sides. In Temperance, you've got fire and ice, hot and cold, Democrats and Republicans. You've got a polarity of energy that somehow has to merge. There's alchemy when you get Temperance, and that alchemy brings healing. So first, Temperance is one of the most healing cards in tarot, and certainly within the major arcana. So Spirit is saying there's a healing coming. They want as blue states come together and stick together to recognize, don't buy into the lies, and be very vigilant around misinformation. 7 of Swords. Do not buy into the lies. Do not buy into the idea that the Democratic Party is so far back on its heels that its power has been completely usurped. Do not. Misinformation. When we've got the Fettermans going down now to Mar-a-Lago, for what? But we've got certain Democratic leaders that you may see more and more starting to, get into this. Well, let's see how much we can work with Trump and Musk at all. Don't believe the hype is what Spirit is saying here. Don't be misled. Knight of Wands. Stay purposeful. Build your networks. Make efforts to reach out to others who are like-minded. That's that Knight of Wands, like moving ahead, literally moving ahead. And I got confirmation, 10 of Cups, which is a card of very often families, domestic situations, but in the context of how to keep political sanity, blue states keeping political sanity. This is definitely about finding unification where you can, within your friendship groups, within your families, within platforms that people have things in common around protecting democracy. Really, really important for you right now. And we've got the lovers that's come back again. I feel like that's a timing issue, you all. There's something, a lot of readers on this platform and others have been seeing a real shift in energy around June of this year. A lot of astrologers, etc. So pay attention to that. There is something May to June, when we hit Gemini season, May to June, there is some sort of shift. There's some sort of, they just said shot in the arm, like a vitamin B shot or something. There's some sort of shift in energy that's going to make people feel. Eight of Pentacles. Perhaps that's a skill set. That's mastery of a skill set, or continuing to work really hard at something in Pentacles where you actually start to see results, right? You start to see results. So there's something within the Democratic Party, and it could be too, thank you, Spirit. Remember, we do have, February 1st, that the DNC is going to elect new leadership. So I think once that leadership gets underway, that's what Spirit is showing us. When we get that leadership underway and they start to find their groove, it could be around summertime when they really start to find their groove. And we're going to hear more and more about a new, refreshed Democratic agenda that on the surface, the hangman, I knew it was coming. Thank you, Spirit. On the surface may feel a little like, what's really happening here? Because remember, there will be certain Democratic leaders who are going to appear to extend their hand or extend an olive branch. Let's see if we can find common ground. Let's see if we can work together, And that's not going to sit well with a lot of people who are feeling like all of their rights are being stripped away, that they can see, beyond the veil of what's really happening and the Project 2025 agenda playing out, right? That's what that hangman is about. It's saying there's something here where we're being advised. Political sanity, Blue America's political sanity. Don't believe all the hype. Don't believe everything that you hear. Go for Ten of Pentacles. The power in the collective. The power in knowing that ultimately there is a shift coming back around. And there's the moon. We will see through the illusion. There are a lot of things that are going to come to light. Recognizing even today, now we know, the Jack Smith report, which I don't know about you, some of us are feeling the same way like we did when Juan Merchan finally gave the sentence, right? It's like ho-hum. We know that Jack Smith had enough to get a conviction. We didn't need the report released to tell us that. We knew that he had enough to get a conviction. That's why it was, the fight against having all of these cases, stalled, because there was enough there. So yeah, a lot is going to come to light, and I have a sense that enough of it is going to come to light around the summertime, when we saw that lovers around Gemini season, that's when it's going to really start to hit the fan. And we've got the Page of Swords. There's new messaging coming. There's truth that's going to be revealed, and there's going to be a shift, and somehow it just feels like it's going to be an energizing time for the Democratic Party. They're telling me don't ignore independence, right? There's a coalition that feels like it's going to be building. Is that what you're telling me, Spirit? Like more intro. The hermit coming together, studying the ways that we can come together, doing the tasks, Virgo energy, being analytical, paying attention to the details. There's going to be a cross section and talking about reaching out. There's going, Democrats, these new folks who are going to come in and lead the DNC. There's going to be a recognition of having to bring in more temperaments within the fold. That's the word they're giving me, temperaments. More people with different temperaments, different ideologies that somehow coalesce into a new and refreshed Democratic Party. All right, you all. So I hope that was helpful. And let's just continue day by day, bit by bit. I appreciate your presence here. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your support, most certainly. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe button. And I will check back in with you guys in a couple of days. You right? Okay? Remember, don't believe all the hype. Don't, and by all means, continue to, instead of, it's really difficult to watch what's happening in California, right? It can weigh down on our spirits. All of that aside, Spirit is saying, send energy to these firefighters, send energy to the people who are trying to figure out what's their next move, where are they going to live, how are they going to be able to rebuild, all of those things. Let's continue to send them light and love, all right? All right, you all, and to yourselves. Give it to yourselves as well. Remember, chin up. We got to keep breathing and our shoulders back and believe. This is a moment in time. And the cycle of life and the cycle of energy is going to keep turning. And it will turn in our favor. All right? I'll talk to you real soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye.